Me perderé en el torbellino del amor. Me subiré en un remolino de color. Confundiré lo que es el norte con el sur. Renegaré ese pasado.
No van a llorar. Aplaudan hasta que les sangren las manos. Disfruten, aprovechen. Esta noche es de vosotros. Muchísimas gracias. Me voy. Adiós.
Señoras y señores, esta noche ha bajado Dios.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
God is here. Okay, John. This is the 21st century, so you have a way of saying that things that you love and people that you love and you like the work, they're your role models.
Yeah,
You've
they are.
written about this.
Yeah.
But now you're a role model.
I know that's scary. It is scary.
Is it?
But what I love is I see all these people here, and I always think, how do they even know who I am? Really,
Well,
you know,
they
it
do.
is. I know it's amazing that I can come from Baltimore and it's turned into this, and all ages here. It's so great. Half of you weren't even born when I made my last film, I think, right? So it's incredibly exciting to see the new filth generation. Yes.
Sois la nueva generación basura. Yeah. In a way, we're always looking for things that are important for us, that change our lives. You've changed our lives. No, it's true. I mean, you know it. So let's get to it. And many of the people I've been texting through this month were really nervous. I mean, you told me someone was crying yesterday when...
I know, I feel bad when people are crying, you know? I think, why are you crying? You know, I used to see that with Johnny Depp when we made Crybaby.
Yeah.
Girls were outside the trailer crying, and then they tried to buy his sewage from the tent underneath. And I thought, well, that's really being a star, I guess, right?
Okay. This generation we have here, which is not a generation of ages.
Many ages,
yes,
right.
It's many ages. But we do have people, as you say, who are so young that they weren't born when you made the last film. And these millennials, as they are called now. Last time I interviewed you was in 2000, when Cecil B. demented. And the new century was not yet there. What are your thoughts about this new century?
Well, if I was young, I would. What is the new juvenile delinquent?
I don't
you
know.
When I was young, it was you stole hubcaps in the 50s, you were a juvenile delinquent. And then you became a hippie, then a punk, then grunge, and then a gangster. I guess I would be a hacker.
Okay.
I think it's better because when I was young, you most always had to, in America, you had to move to New York or you had to move to LA. Now with the internet, the whole world is cool. Everybody's cool where you live. You don't have to move anymore. I encourage you to not move. Make it cool where you live now. And to me, there in Baltimore, where I still live, is cooler than New York because New York is so expensive now. There's no bohemia. You can't be a bohemian and live there. Where in Baltimore, there are still scary places. Really? And we need scary places.
It's like the New York of the 70s then.
Well, I don't know that it's the New York. I think everywhere now is pretty cool. I travel doing a one-man show, and I can go all over the world, and the people still are cool everywhere. Now, you lose local color a little, local things that people do, because even, I come here, I come everywhere, and everybody looks great. I always thank my fans, you always get your roots done for me. Everybody gets their roots done to come see me, and I think that's such respect.
It is.
Yeah.
And anyway, in this world today, everything is the same, more or less. If you walk down the main street of any of these small cities, they can be like New York. They have the same Starbucks. They have the same everything.
That's what I dislike,
Okay.
And I almost think to not go in those stores if you can, to try to get the one that has some local color, but does have some weirdness to it, because I don't want to know exactly what every place is going to be like before I walk in it. I like old movie theaters. In America now, they like, they want to go to the mall, something I don't understand. I've always been scared in the mall.
here now in Europe, it's more or less the same. So
Yeah.
it's basically the same everywhere. Which are the tools that young people today can use? Have they changed? I mean, is it just the same? Like you have a bunch of friends, you can start making movies
Sure
or
you
start
can.
making a TV show or whatever.
Sure you can. Now you make it on your phone. It's easier to make a movie. We had to lug around 16-millimeter equipment. But, you know, I don't like people my age to say, we had more fun. No, we didn't. They're having just as much fun being bad as we did when we were young.
Yeah.
I really believe they do. And that is youth's job to wreck what we did almost. To come and make it worse or go to the next level. Or I always say, surprise me, you know, but what you should really surprise is the people, if you're in high school, the people that are cooler than you, 2 years ahead of you, get on their nerves. And that's how you start the next trend in a way. You don't wait for somebody to tell you it's good. You do it and then make it good yourself.
But is it difficult today with all this political correctness thing? I mean,
Well, the political correctness thing, I think I am politically correct.
I'm absolutely
I
sure
think I
about
am.
that.
But we have this thing in America now in colleges. Only rich people care about this, where they call trigger warning.
What's
Well,
that?
you have to say to a student, I'm going to talk about something today that might offend your sensibilities. I
There you
thought
go.
that's why you went to college.
There you go.
You know, to me. So my whole life has been a trigger warning, you know. And but it is crazy what you can and can't talk about today. But I think that we have to make people a little bit uncomfortable. I believe humor is how you change people's opinions. I listen to my enemy. I'm not a separatist. I don't believe that we should always hang around with people that believe exactly what we believe in. I like to listen to the smartest people I don't agree with.
Okay.
And then I know how to argue with them. But at the same time, I'm against separatism. I'm against, I think if you want to win politically, first you use humor as terrorism to embarrass the enemy, and then you use humor to make them laugh, and they'll at least stop and listen to you. That's how you change somebody's mind. Not by, oh, you must do this. And liberals can be fascists because they don't think anybody ever
know.
doesn't agree with them.
I know.
And that's a problem too.
And now when you want to talk to someone, of course you can't say you are a fag or anything like that, but you have to think
Or
about...
you can't say you're fat.
Fag or fat. No, you can't
Well,
use
I
those
know, you can
words.
say like
can't.
you're vertically challenged.
Yeah.
That means, you know. But humor impaired, that's the one I have. People
I
go,
love
yeah,
the
there's
term
a lot
of
of humor
humor
impaired
impaired,
people.
yeah.
Right.
I love that term. I think
Yeah.
it's very wise to think about that. How can we manage to still be angry and still show
Yeah.
that anger without being able to call the people what they are?
Well, I think I know a lot of fat girls that say they're fat. You know, they don't hide that. You know, I think it's depending on age too. I think at 20 years old you can be a drunk, a drug addict, and be angry and still be cute. At 70-year-olds, you're an asshole. Yeah. And I think you can complain about your parents up to about 25.
Oh, that's
It
too
isn't
much.
fair. It isn't fair. Your parents kept you in a box underneath the bed, and they beat you every day. That's sad, but get used to it. That's the hand you were dealt.
Yep.
And nothing is worse as complaining. And the same way with the parents. You can't order up your daughter or son. You can't say, this is what I want. You have to work with what you get. So I say in my book, if your daughter comes home and her whole face is tattooed, maybe she'll open a French tattoo parlor that's very chic. Work with what you got. You can't say, oh my God, what have you done to yourself?
Yeah.
You know, you can't you got to work with what you got. And that's with children and parents at the same time. And remember that if your kid is in trouble when they're young, they'll end up in the arts, you know,
Right.
because all the people in America that I remember that went to high school, that were the ones that were the football star and the beauty queen, the day they left school, it was over. Their life went downhill, right? The ones that were in trouble, their lives got better when they left school, not worse. And I don't go to my high school reunions, you know, because I don't care what they did. The cute ones I wanted to have sex with, I've already stalked their homes. But I had a spy that went, and he told me, I said, what was this guy, the one that was the football star and everything? Of course, he did go. And they had, what are your interests? And all he could write down was, doing things around the house. Oh, is that sad?
It is.
If that's the only thing you can think to tell your peers when you see them 40 years later, I do things around the house. Oh, so depressing. And that's what happens to the football star.
Yes,
Yeah.
and to the beauty queen.
Yeah, the beauty queen. Yeah.
Probably. You're quite used to fight in different fields. Let me explain. Sometimes when you do something, you of course know who's going to be offended. But sometimes the people that were supposed to back you up and to be there are the ones that are offended first. Let's talk about these feminists and left-wingers and people that are supposed to be the people that understand and want to change and should give you your space. But usually that doesn't happen as well.
Not to me. I am a radical feminist. I love women who hate men, and I hate men who hate women. So I like to read the really crazy radical feminists, like Andrea Dworkin, who said all heterosexual sex is rape. Now, I don't believe that, but I love to read it. Yeah. So, and Valerie Solanas, I hate that she shot Andy Warhol,
Yep.
but she had a good thing today. She said women should pretend they're normal and get jobs and unwork, which means you go in, you fuck it up, you get caught, you get another job, you wreck it, you fuck the computer up, you sneak, you get another job. That's a feminist.
So we're in a place where alternative and not alternative art is shown. And we're talking about trash culture. What can we say about trash culture today?
Trash to me is a word that, to me, I use filth more. You know, I think it's all a positive word. I think,
of course.
I think it is a reaction against the tyranny of good taste that many of us were raised in. But you have to know the rules of good taste to break the rules and have fun with bad taste. And there's good bad taste and bad taste. And bad taste tries too hard and isn't funny. It doesn't try to change anything. It's too easy to do bad taste. Hollywood does it now. They make $100 million bad taste movies that aren't funny.
Blockbusters,
Right.
yeah.
But it's harder to think. I always said that a young person that could make a movie that caused a huge amount of trouble, that didn't have sex or violence in it, how could you do that? That would be the newest thing. What could it be that your ideas were just so radical and perverse without sex or violence that people would get nervous? And I don't know the answer to that either. That's your responsibility. Yeah.
So what's the weight of all your cultural influences, not only for filmmaking, also for making you an icon? You are an icon because you are a person capable of being here tonight, of being a show on yourself, of writing, of doing paintings and things on photographs. We are all interested because they have something to add to what we usually see. What's the weight of all the things you've loved?
I just like to tell stories, and I've always been what I am as a writer. I wrote all my movies, I wrote all my books, I write my one-man shows, I write my artwork, I think it up before. So I would never make a movie I didn't write. I wouldn't really know how to do that. So I'm a storyteller. I need a way to tell stories. And I learned early you need backup careers. One thing doesn't always work. You should always be able to have, and I like all my careers the same. My last movie didn't do so well at the box office. My last 2 books in America got good reviews and were bestsellers. So you stay where you're doing the best, I think. I like writing a book and making a movie exactly the same. You know, I love to do both.
You were telling me about the budget problem for making a movie today, because they're all wondering, when is he going to make a new movie?
What I routinely made, the independent film world that I knew in America no longer exists. You know, it was, I routinely, the last 4 movies cost $5 or $6 million, and they were filmed with unions, movie stars, music rights, everything. And they don't have that today. It has to be $1 million or $100 million. And I'm a little, at 70 years old, I don't feel like being an underground filmmaker. You know, I own 3 homes. I can't be much of an anarchist, really. But at the same time, or they want it to be $100 million to make the movies that China wants to see, right? So it is a different thing today. But that's okay. You know, that's what the world is. It's not going to go back. As soon as the DVD business died, it ended it because that was their insurance to make money back. And I get it. The studios are there to make money. They're not art organizations. You're very lucky here. The government does give you money to make. And the kind of movies that you make here that are great, the government in our country would pay to stop. You know, they would never give movies to that kind of thing. So it's a new way to do it, certainly. But kids are doing it. It's the same way. I started making movies with my friends, and so does every young person here today. Does the same thing. You make movies with your friends. You got to see other movies. I see movies still all the time, you know. And I think you have to participate in the world you're trying to enter, and somebody has to like it. And even my father lent me the money for the first movies. Was horrified by them. Never saw them. And he was mad I paid him back, because then he knew I was going to keep doing it.
Right.
But you have to find somebody that likes your movies, you know. And when you first start out, rent a hall somewhere. Put out ads yourself. Cause a little trouble in your community. Get it written up in the paper. And then someone will see it. You don't have to get a big distributor to do it at the beginning. Now they have film festivals for exactly that reason. Get it out there. Get it out there. Get somebody to notice you. You know, we all did that. And learn the business. Learn the business of how it works in some way. Read a trade paper. Read some, because you can make a movie, but then what? What do you do with it?
Yeah.
You want to be an actor, an actress. Get in something. Find out the director that might go for you. If you want to be in the art world, find a gallery that you like, that has shown other emerging artists, and get in there. You have to know the business as much as the art form, I believe.
Your portrait of William Castle in Foyt, which I think is like a double homage, because it's William Castle, who is someone most of the people know because you have talked about him. And then in this movie about Hollywood, and this big giant dragon that eats actresses and eats everything that comes around. How did you enjoy that?
Well, I loved playing William Castle. I had written about him. I had written the introduction to his biography when it came out. I never met him, but I did meet his widow and his daughter, Terry. And when this came out on television, his daughter wrote me and said, "I'm so proud you played my dad."
Yeah.
And she sent a picture of herself as a little girl when she was on the set of the movie looking at Joan Crawford, like scared of her. And it was great to work with Jessica Lange, who I'd never met.
Yeah.
And I said to her, "I'm still scared of you," from Frances, that other movie she did.
Yeah.
But it was all day. She's not a method actress, thank God, because she was dressed as Joan Crawford. So, you know, we'd have lunch, and she was Joan Crawford. But she was great. But, you know, Joan Crawford, I think, that daughter wrote the book against her and everything.
Yeah, I know.
But later in life, I saw the daughter appear in San Francisco on stage judging a drag queen contest of Joan Crawford lookalikes. Yeah, so let's not be so serious about the trauma that happened to you.
Okay.
Let's give Joan a break here, you know?
Yeah.
And yeah, Joan wasn't that great a mother, but the other kids don't say she was so bad.
Yeah.
Maybe Joan misbehaved.
Maybe she was the problem.
Yeah.
She was the problem.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I get on airplanes and a baby's crying, right? And I don't mind the baby's crying. It's usually in coach, no wonder.
Right.
But the mother always says to me, "He's just tired." And I said, "From
So
what?
what?
Does he have a job? Did he just unload a truck?" You know, I don't say stupid things to her like, "Hit it with a car, Ariel." Right. But I like kids, you know. And kids come over to me like this in the airport, and I think, no, I look like a child molester, I know. It makes me nervous.
Kids coming to you.
They do. They come over like,
You're
pick
a
me up, and
father
I think,
figure.
I can't, you know, like pick up a strange child in an airport, you'll be arrested. Get off my kid. Right.
You were talking about Joan's daughter being judged in a contest. We've seen you in RuPaul.
Who's?
No, you were talking about Christina being a
Oh,
judge
yeah,
in a drag
exactly.
show.
Yeah.
So I just remember you just went judging.
I was on RuPaul as a judge,
RuPaul's. I think many of these young, not only boys that feel they want to be in drag, also girls, little girls, that instead of being the contest pageants, they want to be drags.
I
divas.
love drag kings.
That's love.
Are you kidding? The transgendered men, in fact, they have full beard. They look like boys I'd like. It's very confusing. And they always ask me to sign their mastectomy scars, which I do, but I'm looking forward to signing bottom surgery. I haven't done that yet. But I will.
So you know.
I
guys.
will.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you think about this? Of course, it's not all of the world and all of America, but there are these girls and these boys that see these divas, and they sort of like them and sort of think they want to be like
Isn't
them.
that nice that
That's
little
lovely.
boys and girls want to be drag queens instead of Barbie? But they're kind of the same.
Yeah.
But it's amazing, and I give Rue great credit because I don't know him that well, but I've known him for a long time since he started in Atlanta. And that show in America now, it is a mainstream hit. He won the Emmy Award.
I
You know,
know.
it is like middle America is watching that show and loving it, which good for him. I give him great credit to pull that off.
And
Yeah.
is that taking us somewhere else?
Who knows? I think everything changes. You know, I'm for like radical. There's a group now called GAG, Gay Against Gun, which
Gay
and they
Against
say it's
Gun.
not fellatio and firearms. No, but it's and they have bumper stickers that say NRA. That's the National Rifle Association. It says NRA, sashay away. You know, so these are political gay groups, which everything's changing. You know,
Yeah.
and it's all good, I think. But once again, they made people laugh first,
Yeah.
and it got used to it. So gay bars are closing everywhere in America, and maybe that's good because
Right.
it's closing because young people, they don't need to go to a gay bar. They want to
Right.
hang around with all their friends, straight and gay. They don't care.
Right.
And like S&M bars, they don't need to be whipped because they're gay, you know. And S&M does look stupid at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, when you're at the beach, it looks silly, right?
Right. So, I think the icons we more or less know from the past century were made because all the media also made them icons, even underground media.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now the media, it's all fraction in internet. Are we
I
going-
don't know.
I don't think so.
No, I actually have always liked the media, obviously. That's
Yeah.
why it would be terrible to be in this business and hate the media because
Yeah.
that's what you have to deal with.
Yeah.
I have been in the media myself. I've written, I have journalism and everything. So I'm not against the media, you know, and I think it's different now. I still like newspapers. I get 6 newspapers delivered to my house every day. I like tearing it out. I
Yeah.
look to see where
Paper.
it is. I like the paper of it. But that's never going to go back. I know it's not going to go back to that.
Okay.
So why do you think it's different today, journalism?
Well, because if we don't watch something at the same time, or we don't all focus on same things, even if they are underground things, it's like we all have something we like, and that's enjoying us or making us different, but it's not the same.
It's not.
It's not as
It's
big.
a lot of little communities. You're
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
In America, no one could identify each of the top 10 most popular music. It's
That's
such
right.
different genre. Even nobody would know all 10 of them, really.
Okay.
So it's very different that way. But I have youth spies, really, people I give poppers to, who come and tell me later what a new band is or something, because I'm not going out at 4 a.m. to hear a new rapper. But I want to know about it.
Yeah.
You know, so I have youth people that give me reports, and that's their job, you know.
That's good.
But I'm still interested, you know, and that's the thing. So the media, to me, you know, it's instant. It's everywhere. It happens in 1 second. I mean, if anything's going to happen, just look at my phone and 40 things come in about what's happened today. So
right.
it's changed it. It's faster. It's quicker. It's everything. But I still think the media can make or break a star, and you can ruin your career. Well, look at Harvey Weinstein, which just happened with
Yeah.
that. In 1 minute, it can happen, and how you can survive that kind of thing is that's a tough thing. But it's still the same. I think the media still has great power.
Okay, and in these times where you say you don't have to move from your house, you're a traveling man. You have
Well, I'm always on the road.
Yeah.
And Elton John said that.
you
to
have
me.
a tour right now. So.
Elton John said to me, and he really, how much more successful could he be? He said, the day you stop touring, it's over.
Okay.
Don't blink. Debbie Harry blinked and Madonna stole her career. And I like both of them. I'm just
Of
saying
course.
that, you know, traveling is where you meet people. You
Yeah.
see your audience. You meet everybody. Without these people, I'd have to get a real job, you know. So
Have you ever had one?
the real job, I had 2 real jobs in my life. I worked for a survey, like Gallup survey, where you knocked on people's door and you gave them a magazine, and then you had to ask them questions.
Yeah.
But I looked so freakish, no one would let me in the house. So I just made up all the answers, so it was a writing exercise. And I never got caught, either. And I worked in bookshops.
Oh, that's good. Are there any more bookshops?
There are bookshops. In America, the independent ones are what survive, the really good ones that serve their community. And a lot of the big chains went out of business. But yes, and I could still, if I had to get a job again, I'd work in a bookshop. That's what I would do.
Tell us about, you've been in London, you have a new book. We didn't know about
I have
it.
a book called Make Trouble, which is actually a booklet, I'd say, because
Booklet.
it's, yeah.
Okay.
Whoever thought I'd be a gift book? But I gave a speech, a commencement speech at a big school in America, and it went viral online, and then it became an illustrated book, and now it's a record. So I've exploited it in every possible media. Yes. So that's what happened. I have a Christmas tour I'm doing, and I'm writing a book called Mr. Know-It-All, which is my opinion on everything, basically.
Oh, good. We love
Yeah.
that. You're also learning new things, new words.
Well,
new
I
terms.
learn new words.
Let us know, please.
Well, I love dirty slang, you know, and this might be hard. I feel sorry for the translator here. And I always think it'd be a good name for punk groups, like dirty old slang for anal sex. When people said that there would be a log jam, which led to a mudslide, oh, that's horrible. But here's bear language, bear talk, you know, they say, this is my husband and my significant
Bear,
honor.
the
Yeah,
bears,
big
yeah.
bears, gay talk, right? So the new one I heard was they said, oh, he's a dolphin. I thought, what's a dolphin? And they said, that's someone that was real hairy, and then they shaved and got Nelly, so they're like... But then I heard, here's one that really shocked me.
You're still shocked by
This one
something?
shocked me. Someone said, do you know what a platinum gay is? I said, no. And they said, that's a gay man who was born cesarean, who never touched a vagina.
Okay.
Now, that's anti-women. I don't like it, but it is shocking.
Let me just make a point,
Yeah.
because I know sometimes you have problems with the translators.
No wonder. Yeah.
Because they don't dare to say the things maybe the way
Mm-hmm.
you're saying them. Maybe I don't know what they've just said, but maybe they've said, a lo mejor acabáis de oír que son unos gays, pues así como plateados, no. Son unos maricones platino, que es lo que tiene que ser, maricón platino, que es lo que hemos estado hablando. Que no es lo mismo.
I don't know what she said, so don't blame me.
Trust me, trust me,
right.
it was fine. So now you're going back and you have a Christmas tour?
I have a Christmas tour that runs 18 cities in 21 days. Yeah, that's fun, though. It's like being in vaudeville, you know. It's
What's up with Christmas and you?
Well, Christmas, I like it because it's extreme, and
Why?
Because it affects you, no matter if you hate it or love it or anything. It's coming at you. And in America, they start now at the end of October. It used to be November.
Before Halloween.
Yeah, before Halloween. Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have Halloween here?
Not really.
Yeah.
Now it's an import
They will,
thing.
because they make money out of it. They have it in London now. They didn't
That's
used to
it.
either.
That's it.
You'll have it soon because of the money.
Okay.
I had a little kid that came to my door trick or treat. They all came as Donald Trump, but I thought they were all Andy Warhol. I couldn't tell the difference because they had the hair. You know.
So we read some time ago you were making a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
And I know the project is there, but in a different
It
way.
didn't happen. It was called Fruitcake, and it was a children's Christmas movie about a happy family of meat thieves. But I just saw a good movie called The Florida Project, which has all kids in it, bad kids. It's really good. So I got the deal, and it never came through. They paid me to write it and everything. So who knows if it's going to happen again? We're talking to animation. It might. I've always wanted to make a children's movie. It's the only genre that I have never satirized, really.
Mm-hmm. You have the honor of being the best director of a female character that was not female.
Well, maybe, because the best director of females is Pedro.
I know, but, well, yeah.
No, wait.
Okay.
I want to give him credit here. He is the best director in the world. He is the best director in the world, and no one writes parts for women like he does. And so I want to give him that shout out, definitely. And I've always believed that. And even like that movie that took place in the airport, I loved that movie.
Okay.
So I like every one of his movies, and they're always different. And the parts are so great written for women. Okay, I only used one man that playing a woman, Divine.
Enough.
And Divine really didn't want to be a woman. He never dressed as a woman in real life.
Let's discuss this.
He
because
wasn't
we want to know.
transgender. He would be for that, but he wasn't that. He wanted to be a monster. He didn't want to be a woman. He wanted to be Godzilla. And that's different. Yeah.
Yeah.
But when Divine came out, when we were young, all drag queens hated Divine because they were serious then. They wanted to be Miss America and stuff. And Divine would show up carrying a chainsaw, and like people would be horrified by him. But Divine played Jackie Kennedy very early in one of my movies.
Yep.
And his mother didn't even know he was divine or anything. And she found the bloody Jackie Kennedy outfit, and she said, "What the hell is this?" And Divine was stoned. He didn't know what to say. He just said, "I am Jackie Kennedy." And she just backed away. She didn't say anything more.
With all this coming out of gayness.
Oh, coming out. I never came out.
You never had to.
That sounds like a bar mitzvah.
But that's something that happens today to young people. Everything is out. Trans people are okay.
Yeah.
So I think now, today, Divine will also be a shock.
I think we have too many gay people. I'm for coming in. We have enough. Go back. Go back, really.
Go back.
I think you should have to audition to be gay.
Yes.
Yeah, and a team of perverts would take the evidence and once a year give out gay ID to the few people that deserve to carry that title. The rest of you, then we wouldn't have fake lesbians that do it for men. You know, that's the worst kind of, no lesbians, scissor fuck. That's what men thought of. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think also, even today, you're still shocked because
I want to be shocked, surprised in a good way. I don't want to be shocked. I'm shocked by Trump. I'm shocked by racism. I'm shocked by stupidity. But that's not the kind of shock I want. I want to be startled and surprised at looking in something in a new way that I never did before and reconsidering it. Like contemporary art, I love contemporary art that hates me first.
Yeah.
And then you have to love it before it hates you back.
Okay. You were talking about racism. I just read that Gone with the Wind is not going to be shown never again in a Memphis theater or in other cities because it sort of offends black people. Is this the kind of censorship we need?
That's a tough question, you know, and they taking down all the statues now, all the racist. I'm sort of for that. Put up Divine, put up, you know, all new people.
Yeah.
Or let's have each neighborhood vote who should go up. They're heroes, right? The Gone with the Wind's a tough question. I never liked that movie that much anyway. You know, frankly, I didn't give a damn. But it's all right, you know. But yeah, that's a good. When does it stop? That's what Trump said. But that's what Trump said.
Yep.
So basically, when is it? To me, all censorship is wrong. I'm for freedom of speech, even if I hate what they're saying. You know, even the ACLU in America fights for the rights of even Nazis to be able to march. And I think you should be able to yell fire in a crowded theater.
Like Divine.
Yeah. But still, I am for freedom of speech completely. So I believe if you don't like something, you don't go, and that's how you show. If no one goes, they won't show it.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
But in the old days, you didn't I don't mean you. I mean us.
Yeah.
We didn't censor ourselves as much as we do today. Because
I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, because there was always like you know, how far can I go? That's what I made a career out of.
Yeah.
And Pink Flamingos was like, it wasn't politically incorrect. It was hippily incorrect for hippies, right?
Yeah.
It was made to offend hippies, but that's who came. And the same way today, you know, I say things that are sometimes gaily incorrect, just because I say gay is not enough anymore. It's a good start, but it's not enough. And so to say those kind of things, I think is having fun with political correctness, is what is the right thing you can say, you know? And there's a thin line of when people laugh or when they get mad. And nobody seems to ever get mad at what I say anymore, because I think I only make fun of things I love.
Yeah.
And I don't think I'm mean, really. So things I hate, I don't talk about.
You don't waste your time.
That's not my job to come out and do that, you know, except Trump, you know. And I think there will be a Trump porn movie. I got a good title. Comb Over and Blow Me.
John, any other thoughts you want to share with us tonight?
Oh, I think I don't know, how are we running on time?
They're sort of telling me.
They're saying that's it.
We can go on? 3 minutes or what? Ah, we're in the middle of it.
Oh, great. So, okay, good. Great.
Do you feel at times, I don't think so, but just let me know. Some people know you, know the whole of your career, read your interviews. They really know more or less what you want to say. Some kids know you because you were on The Simpsons.
Well, I try to do that. There's some audiences like, like I'm in the Chucky movie.
The Chucky movie,
And
yeah.
I'm in the subway in New York, and only people there say, hey, there's a guy from Chucky. They don't know anything about the other
That's
thing.
right. How do you feel about that?
I was in the Alvin the Chipmunk movie.
I know.
Yeah. And that was really fun to do.
Okay.
And do they play here? Does Alvin the Chipmunk know?
No, I don't think so, no.
It's a children's movie with this talking chipmunk.
Bueno,
who's-
es Alvin y las ardillas, sí lo han puesto, ¿verdad? Aquí, sí, yeah.
All right. So that was fun for me to do because in it, they changed it where I had the scene with Alvin in an airplane, and I say, and he says now, when they reshot it, when I went to see the movie, they put in new dialogue where Alvin says to me, don't judge me, I saw pink flamingos. I thought, they put that in a child's film? What child would get that joke? But that was for the parents, I guess. So,
Not even for all the parents.
yeah. What parents, right. So I try to do different stuff and to get different audiences, like a horror film or do this. I want to be in Final Destination. You know those movies?
Yes, of
That's what I
course.
want to do. That's what I want next. That's my last goal in life.
How do you want to die in Final Destination?
I don't know. That's up to them because, that's the whole plot, And I don't want to die on an airplane, but I love airplane crash movies. I see every one of them.
From the very...
And I hate it when people say, have a safe flight. Well, it's not up to me. Did you see that movie, Flight?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's up to the pilot.
That's
so,
right.
And then that pilot that killed everybody on the airplane, remember, committed suicide. They never found it.
Yeah.
Well, I now think, and then somebody said, well, that's only happened a few other times. A few other times it's happened? So now I'm so paranoid, you can always see the pilot getting on and think, oh my God, he's not smiling. Please don't kill us. Hi. I'm paranoid now all the time.
Let's talk about your art.
Oh, my art. Yeah, that's all
Career.
something I keep very different. Well, I take pictures off the TV screen and re-edit them in
Those were
different
the-
storyboards.
the-
That's how I started. Yeah.
That was the very beginning of it,
The
but
beginning,
you're
yeah.
evolving.
Well, I involved some. I had a little dolls I made that were fighting each other of Michael Jackson and Charles Manson.
Yep.
I did a bunch of signs that were in the Venice Biennale that said, based on a real sign I saw in Baltimore for a real art school, a very bad one for amateur painters, that said, study art for fun and profit, the two things you would never say in the art world.
That's right.
But then I put it in the art world, and it did well. Right.
And you had this sculpture of Jackie Kennedy dressed as divine with
Well,
the,
I
with the
had
gun.
the Jackie Kennedy and the Kennedy doll. I bought them, and then I thought, well, I had Jackie dressed in the red dress that Divine wore in Pink Flamingos pointing
Yep.
the gun, but then I put JFK in Jackie's dress because I thought maybe he was secretly jealous of her fame. Maybe.
What are you up to now in the art?
Well, I'm
area?
having a big retrospective at the Baltimore Museum that's going to travel, which is everything I've done. So
Good.
that's going to be good, and it's a book and everything.
Hey, la térmica.
So I'm excited about that. Yes, yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
hey.
That's
hope
going to be
so.
good, yeah.
When-
And music, I've had music albums out. Not that I sing, I would have exploited that. But I had the John Waters Christmas album, and I had a date with John Waters. And I always wanted to do this one called Breaking Up with John Waters, which is all the best songs about unrequited love and stuff. A real suicide album,
But you do have a great relationship with music because Hairspray, after all,
Yeah,
is a
that
musical.
was amazing that happened.
Yeah.
Hairspray was something that is, gone on. I've been paid a lot of other times. I was paid to write a sequel to the musical that didn't happen,
Right.
a TV series that didn't happen, and very recently from HBO, the sequel to the movie. So who knows, I'm for it to be on ice, and I made that joke on television, Hairspray on ice, and the next day the producers called and said, well, we're interested in that. And then somebody else said, well, Hairspray in space we could do, and then the porn version, Hair Pie.
I hope some of them make
Yeah,
it.
that's the only thing that can kill it, the porn version, right. And in America, I used to joke that in the high schools where it's done a lot now, that the fat girl and the drag queen would get the part. But they don't because of political correctness in America now. They cannot cast by weight or race or anything.
Right.
So I've seen it perform where Tracy is played by a thin black girl. The kids don't notice. It's amazing. Maybe that's good.
Why?
That it's so bizarre. Like she's saying, why can't black people be on the show? And she is black,
Yeah.
But they don't notice. So I think it's all good, kind of. It's all changing. And then we did Crybaby on Broadway, and it was a big flop. you know, and I think they did a great job with it, you know. You never know. I'd like to get them all out there working again, you know. I want one of them to be a children's movie, and Get Serial Mom could be a TV show. Get them all out there working.
Okay, I can remember now Pecker at the end. I love the idea of the end of irony.
Well, that's a thing that I said kind of ridiculously because I have been a dealer in irony my whole life. But irony is snobbery in a way, you know? And if you're really poor, is anything so bad it's funny? Maybe, but that's really a person with a good sense of humor. Irony seems to be a luxury in a way, that you can find something so bad it's good in a way. In a war-torn country, is anything campy? You know, can you have trash culture in Syria right now? I hope so, but I feel, once I said that, people say, well, that's reverse snobism. And maybe it is, but I don't know. It seems like all of this is a luxury, in a way, this kind of humor. And so I made a movie kind of about that, in a way. But Pecker is my nice movie. It's the Japan Times called it a Disney film for perverts. That was a good review, I thought. Yeah.
But
And I introduced new stuff in there, like teabagging. That's when someone hits you in the forehead with their testicles.
Yep. That's
It's
nice.
safe.
Why not?
You know, all women have been accidentally teabagged if their husband climbs over them in the morning to get out of bed.
And some men.
Yeah.
Actually, I thought that you meant something different. I thought that you meant that one thing is that you like things for sure. I mean, I like this carpet, and I don't have to have any cultural reference to tell you I like it. And irony sometimes comes along when, oh yeah, of course, I like William Castle's films. Now, you could have liked them like 30 years ago. What has happened in this 30 years?
Well, I think William Castle was very successful in the 50s. You know, he had the gimmicks. You know, he had the buzzers that went off under the seat. He had a skeleton that went over the crowd. He had glasses that you could look through the red and see the ghost, and blue you couldn't. But then he got crazy. You had things like Coward's Corner, which is like the film would stop. Are you too frightened to see the end? Follow the yellow footsteps to the booth and get your money back. Well, no one would do that. You know? But they were successful, though. They weren't weird little things that were unsuccessful.
No, of course.
They were huge hits, you know. But sometimes we were talking about Isabel Sarli today, you know, an actress that I think needs more worship, right? And these are things that are questionable. Does the country love this person because they're so bad they're good, or is there real irony or everything? And irony, does it ruin everything? In a way, maybe it does, because the best things that are campy or trashy, like a movie like Showgirls, he said he made that to be funny. I don't believe him.
I don't believe it. No.
It was supposed to be serious.
Yes.
And the ones that are supposed to be serious are the funniest when it goes wrong.
Yeah. It's like those ladies in Baltimore wearing beehives.
Yeah.
There's no irony in that.
There's a few that still do. When I came, if any of you came to Baltimore, you would feel like when I went to Madrid the first time. Everyone looks like they're in a Pedro movie. If you come to Baltimore, you'll see I make documentaries, really. That is what people look like there.
What is what you like today in cinema, for example?
Cinema, I like this movie called Baby Driver a lot. I don't know, did that play here?
I don't think so. No? See?
I like that. I like feel-bad European movies. I like Bruno Dumont. I like really depressing movies, usually about terrorism.
You're still running the show where you present and you give a word to the films before they run, where you make a presentation of the films?
Oh, I do. No, I have a show. What do you mean a presentation with?
Well, for example, you show Isabel Sarli film, and you.
Oh no, that was a TV show I had for 1 year. It was called John Waters Presents Movies That Will Corrupt You. Yeah. No, that only lasted 1 year because it was on a gay channel, but I didn't pick any gay movies really, and I had to try to pretend they were gay. So I showed this movie called Clean Shaven, which is about schizophrenia. But I said, do you think it's hard being gay? Imagine what it's like being a schizophrenic. And the audiences didn't go for it because there was no nude schizophrenics in it. They wanted nudity on this channel.
Yeah.
And there was no nude schizophrenics in it.
Then what's your relation with television?
Television now in America is more people are watching it. It's where I hope to end up. Because first of all, you have more freedom. way more people see it than an art movie.
Yeah.
They pay you well,
Yeah.
and you can do almost anything today. I think there's big freedom in American television.
And are you keen of any of these new shows? Like
Well, I've seen some of them. I like David Simon very much, who did The Wire, and he has a new show called The Deuce,
was
which is about the
Baltimore,
porno in the 70s. No, that one takes place in New York,
No.
and it's about the birth of the porno movement. Yeah, it's good.
What's the point from now on, John?
What's from now on?
Where are you heading to?
Well, I don't know. I feel like I've done a lot. Sometimes I think, Christ, why don't you just take a little time off here,
No, please.
I'm just going to try to write the next book, the next movie, if it happens, keep going on these tours, having great times to meet all the people all around the world. I was in Vienna last week. I was in London this week. So it's great to see everybody. I've never been here before. And I got to walk around today and see everybody, and plus meet all the people that are here. And boy, you all have quite a look here, I tell you. and I'm amazed at some of the people that came dressed in their costumes from my movie and everything.
Yeah.
It's just amazing to me, amazing.
You ever thought of this heritage? Because you've made a heritage now for us.
Well, I'm very flattered by you say that.
That's right. It's true. I mean,
I think, to look back and see that it had this effect on so many people is truly amazing to me. And I am a filth elder, believe me. And I take that very seriously in a way that I'm just very proud that I could make people feel good about themselves in some way. And I had role models, too. That's what I wrote the whole book about. People that did that for me when I was young. Tennessee Williams. When I was really young, I wanted bohemia, but I lived in suburbia. And I read Tennessee Williams. I went to the library, and they wouldn't give me the book. It said C library because I was too young. But I figured out where the book was and stole it, right? But Tennessee Williams, I said, he saved my life, really. I thought, oh, there is another world. There is bohemia. There is a different world. I don't have to agree with everything they're teaching me in school. So he saved my life.
you saved our life.
Oh, thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
you
very
did.
much. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you. And most of you didn't need saving.
Maybe that's why they're here, because when you don't need it, you don't look for, those things that are the ones that are supposed to save the world. And
Well,
they never save
I
the
never
world.
tried to save the world. I just tried to make people laugh and feel good about themselves, the exact thing that they were taught to feel bad about.
Yep.
Yeah.
We were talking about music, and I love your idea of pop music being music made for hell.
Well,
I love that.
I use music in all my movies as the narrator, that told the story, linked it together with the music. When I turn in a script to the producer, I have the music right there.
Right.
One thing I'd like to tell all young filmmakers, pay for your music rights, because I didn't with Pink Flamingos, and somehow I got away with it for a long time.
Yeah.
But eventually it cost almost $500,000 to pay for the music for a movie that cost $10,000.
Yeah.
So, and kids do this today everywhere. They make the film with their friends, and then they put the Beatles in or something.
Yeah.
And then it goes to a film festival, and distributors want to buy it, and then they found out you haven't paid for the music. The whole deal falls through,
Yeah.
because the music costs really a lot of money. It costs about $35,000 a needle drop now every time it goes down.
Yeah.
So use your friends. Don't use the Beatles. Use your friends that make music and get them to sign a release.
That's right. Okay, we're in the final
All right, here.
track here.
Is there anybody in the first row here or anything that has a question?
Yes, sure. ¿Alguien quiere hacer alguna pregunta de los
Well,
que
the only
estáis-
way I say the first row because I can't see any further. than that.
No vemos mucho más de la primera fila, pero quizás sería el momento divertido que preguntarais lo que quisierais. ¡Ánimo!
Ah,
Vamos a
there's-
ver. Sí, aquí hay un chico que vemos. Pedrito.
A collaboration
Okay.
between you are God in Spain, goddess in Spain, and you that you are God in the world.
Thank you. Thank you. I was telling her today.
She really worth it.
¿Qué, Pedrito?
Merece la pena, mi arma.
Ah, that's worth. It would be worth.
That she reminds me very much of my first woman that I worked with named Malcolm Soul, who was a great goddess when I was young. Divine was even scared of her. And she was a real woman. She looked great, and she reminds me very much of you. And I mean that as a
That's
great compliment.
a compliment.
A great compliment.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
You can look at her. There's a picture of her in Shock Value, my first book, dressed as a nun.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll have a look then.
People ran from her on the street because she looked, they just never saw anyone that looked like that, you know, with the eyebrows, and she was great. She was a good one.
Marvelous. Sí. Levántate para que te
Yell
vean.
it out, Rose.
Grita.
Do I consider myself a gay icon? Well, I'm trying to be humble. I say I say a filth elder. I guess, you know, I don't know. That's the thing. I never came out or anything. I just figured that was part of it always, that I was gay. But the first time I ever went to a gay bar in Baltimore, it was this place called the Chicken Hut. And they had phones on each table where you called, "Hi, I'd like to buy you a drink." And I thought, you know, I might be queer, but I ain't this. You know, I wanted bohemia, you know. I wanted to hang around with straight people, gay people. I didn't want to be ghettoized. Like, I hate it when my book today is in the gay section near true crime back by the bathroom. I want it up front, you know, with the bestsellers. So I'm against separatism. So if someone called, I just did Out Magazine, the Gay 100. I just did that photo shoot this week. So, yeah, I would certainly be flattered that you say that, but I'm not coming out waving the rainbow flag as I walk on stage, because I think they're asshole people I know that are gay. You know, I think that's progress to
Everywhere.
me. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Sí. That Salo of Pasolini was a moralistic movie when you wrote in
I think
Crackpot.
Solo is a very moral movie. I think it's a beautiful movie.
Impossible to do. He was writing about the future in a way. It's just looking.
Oh, you mean, well, Pasolini is the only Catholic saint I pray to, really. And I even bought a Pasolini watercolor recently that's in my living room. So, you know, anyone that said I'm a Catholic, a homosexual, and a communist, that's the Holy Trinity. No.
Right.
So I think Pasolini, but the question is, was he producing today, predicting?
That he didn't know about what he was doing, but he was writing the future, which is our present.
In a way, except at the same time, Pasolini came out for the police against the hippies because they were working people.
Yeah.
So I just think he thought they were cute. I don't know. But I don't know. Pasolini wasn't so easy to predict, his politics. So who knows? I think the fascism in that today could be happening. Yeah, Trump could be tonight. Somebody telling those stories. Yeah, that could be happening. Yeah. Anybody here? We're done? Yeah.
Ay, Dios mío, es que si no las paro, hablan como unos loros. Yo los adoro. We adore you, we love you. No sé qué decir, son too legend, too love, too master, to everything. Señoras y señores, por favor, un fuertísimo aplauso para Sean Waters, Alaska. Quiero esta foto. Wow. Pero esperen. Primero quiero esta foto. Quiero muchas fotos tonight. I have many pictures tonight. But I have another one.
Yeah.
Pero tengo una persona que está, me mandó un mensaje de texto, me sobornó, me pidió cerveza, me dio el todo. Yo quiero recibir este escenario 3 minutos para que comparta con nosotros 4 o 5 a Mario Vaquerizo Chu. Come here, Mario, come here, Chu. Mario. Hold on. Oh!
Me sentí raro justo el día en que dijiste adiós.
Buenas
Choqué mi
noches.
coche porque sí, lo
You
hice
are the
sin
good.
razón. Tiré tus cosas sin pensar, en la basura están. Choqué mi coche porque sí.
Buenas
Me
noches.
da igual, me encanta.
Es un placer estar aquí con todos vosotros.
Yo vengo aquí en colaborador, de asistente personal. Quiero pedir un fuerte aplauso para...
Última foto y los despedimos y me quedo con Mario Vaquerizo.
Me da igual.